もしもーし。YouTube の方の配信も来てくれてありがとうございます。ケロトさん、大輝ありがとう。さっきも来てくれたのに、こっちまでありがとう来てくれて。こんちかー。ありがとう、ありがとう。21時ですね。1時間ぶりですね。というわけで、では昨日の続きを行っていきたいと思います。じゃあ始めていこうかな。早速。っていうか。ゲームの方準備しますので、少しお待ちください。あ、まだ体験できないキャラでござる。いつものことだね。いつも体験できとらん。いや、でも10連勤、20連勤ならないかったらいいね。なったらマジで悲しいよ。ちょっとならないことだけをちょっと祈って。よし。じゃあ、ゲーム、これだな。ゲーム無事起動できたら画面変えるね。10は確定。いや、つら。10確定なんだ、もう。ごめんね。画面の準備がちょっとできていなくて。これだね。よし。アガサ・クリスティ。昨日の一応振り返りだけでもしておこうかな。もしかしたら途中から見に来てくれる方、知らない方いるかもしれないし、20は働き具合による。そっか。で、働き具合でプラス10年金されるのか。辛いな。それは辛いよ。で、オリエント急行殺人事件。主人公が、名探偵の方なんですけど、たまたまこの列車に乗ったんですね。移動するためなんですけど、たまたま乗ったら、隣で止まっていた、ちょっといけつかない感じのおじさんが殺されたっていうところですね。で、これからいろいろ証拠だったり、状況を分析して、何が起こってどうして殺されてしまったのかとか、犯人は誰なのかっていうのを、今日の配信では暴いていきたいと思います。では、よろしくお願いします。始めていくね。ここですね、おじさんがいたのは。全員に話を聞いて、まだこれを見ていないのかな？見た気がするんだけどね。これ見たよ。前回これ読んだんだけど、私はここを押し忘れたらしい。これで全部見たね、多分。というわけで、一度外に出てみましょう。
So, Poirot, did you find anything out?
It's a bit early for the handcuffs, my friend. Even for Hercule Poirot. Do not worry, mon ami. I believe our culprit has no plans to strike again. Monsieur Ratchet was the target. Of that I am convinced.
そうなんだ。
Tell me, Book, how did you spend last night?
This is a joke, I hope.
多分かなりいけつかない人間で。
My friend, calm yourself. I must hear your story in order to corroborate other accounts.
そうだね。たとえ友人でもね、聞かなきゃいけないから。
I went to my compartment after dinner. Dr. Constantine was already there. We talked about his career. He's a Cambridge man, you know. After university, he returned to his country and has done much good there. He was so interested in the Orient Express.
めっちゃ話したんやろうな。ちょっと疲れた顔してたよな。それは友人でも疑わないかん。ね。
Here is what I have found out. Monsieur Ratchet was stabbed many times. I also found threatening letters in his safe. He had a loaded gun under his pillow, so he was on guard, ready to defend himself. However, there was an empty glass with white residue at the bottom. I suspect a barbiturate. Perhaps he was forced to take it. In any case, I am certain he was unconscious, unable to defend himself. I also found several other items at the crime scene, possibly related to the murder. They must be investigated.
By all means, Poirot. as fast as you can.
I also found liquid for an electronic cigarette, but I could not find a vape. This might belong to the murderer.
あ、
This
そうなんや。
criminal is an amateur.
I need a list of the passengers with their compartment numbers.
Pierre Michel will have it.
I must interview the rest of the passengers and the
確
staff.
かにね。
I'll be in the bar car if you need me.
12箇所されてる。
We are
12箇所やったか。
Soon I hope help will arrive.
よし、じゃあとりあえずミシェルに話しかけて客席綿棒をもらいに行こ
Monsieur Michel, I must ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
I will do everything I can to help.
First of all, tell me about yourself.
Very well. My name, as you know, is
う。彼
Pierre
こ
Michel.
こ
I am from Calais. I've been with the company for over
15年以上
15 years.
働いております
Thank you.
勤続年数長いね。彼カナダ人か。年齢的に57やよな。管理者か。
I must admit I'm not right this time.
召使いじゃないやろ ?33?
This is wrong. But I'm never far from the truth.
28箇所されなかっただけ。その28箇所って何怖いんだけど。彼って何フランス人
No, no,
Hello?
no, no, not good.
ねえ、じゃあ57年。じゃあ料理人召使い
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. I do not think that's the right
やっぱ
answer.
管理者やんな。やっぱこれが違う。フルスイス人か
No, 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 not good.
?No, no, 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 not good. ひどい。あ、フランス人。彼ってフランス人なんや。
I'm right
へ
again.
え。
That happens to me a
だい
lot.
ぶ間違いだけどね。客席
Can
名
you
簿。
provide me with a listing of the passengers and their rooms, please?
Yes, certainly.
ふんふんふん。わからへんな。名前と顔が一致してないからちょっとわからんな。でも、10から始まる部屋の方が多いんやね。なるほど。ふんふんふん。あ、で、スタッフは300番台のところにおるんや。このさ、205号室のルドルフ・アンドレニのところ、番号2になってんねんけど、なんなんやろこれ、2って。知らない28箇所の刺し傷だぞっていうデトロイト・ビカム・ヒューマンのセリフ。デトロイト・ビカム・ヒューマンやったことないんよ。なんだろうわかんないや。28箇所も刺されてたのうちらが泊まってんのって204やんな、多分。キャロライン・ハバードっていう人が、あれか、なんか、うちらの、いないから、帰りにうちらが泊まれたんか。
Are you a smoker?
Indeed.
Do you smoke e-cigarettes?
No. Tobacco only.
No, タバコ only. タバコはタバコなんや。あ、ネタになってるんや。へえ、知らんかった。
I would like to reconstruct with your help the events of
確か
last
に確かに、
night.
この人もいろいろ見て
Monsieur
たから
Ratchet
な。
retired to bed. When?
Almost immediately after dinner, sir. Actually, before we left Belgrade.
Did anybody go into his compartment after that?
His valet, monsieur. Monsieur Masterman. Anthony's secretary, the young American gentleman. Monsieur McQueen.
And that is the last time you saw or heard of him?
No, monsieur. You forget that Monsieur Ratchet rang his bell around
あ、
12.
0時40分に押してたか。
Soon after we had stopped. I knocked at the door, but he called out in French, "Ce n'est rien, je me suis trompé." I then left to answer another bell that had just rung.
えなんて言ったんフランス語わからんかったんやけど。あ、マレスちゃん、バンチカチャイチャイ、来てくれてありがとう。昨日の続きやってるよ。
Where were you at 1:15 a.m.?
I was sitting on my little
1時
seat
15
at the
分
end of
か
the。car, facing up the corridor.
Are you sure?
I left a little after 1 a.m. to speak about the snow with my colleague Jean in the bar car. I came back later. There was a call. I remember speaking to you.
Indeed, I remember. Carry on.
何回も
It
夜
was
中に
the
起きたもん
American
ね。
lady, Madame Hubbard. She thought she saw a man in
あ
her
あ、そうだそうだ。あのおば
compartment.
さん
Then
が。
around 1:50 a.m., I made the bed for
なんで
Monsieur
ベッド
Ratchet's
メイキン
secretary,
グしたん ?1 時
Monsieur
50分
McQueen.
に。
He had spent the evening talking with the English Captain Arbuthnot. At 2 a.m., I returned to my place and stayed there until dawn.
最後に停車した
What
駅。
is the last station where we stopped?
Vinkovsky.
Could someone have come on board?
Possibly, I was very busy. Owing to the weather, we were a few minutes late. We left at 12:10 a.m.
なるほど。お、ミシェル氏の行動。あ、また並べるやつか。これ苦手よ。これが、ミシェル氏はフォーシ氏と共にバーシャローへ向かう。ミシェル氏はマックイーン氏のベッドメイキングに行く。スッターで戻るでしょ。で、40分、これじゃない。これまだこっちやった。呼び出す。こうじゃなかったっけ。あったあったあった。よかったよかった。
That was easy.
これは簡単やったね。今聞いたばっかやったからね。でじゃあ他の部屋の人たちも聞きに行こうか。あ、205はこっちなん？トントントントントン。
Good morning, madam. I am Hercule Poirot.
Caroline Hubbard. What can I do for you, Mr. Poirot?
I am the bearer of unfortunate news.
It's obvious with all the commotion that something has happened.
Madame Hubbard, I am afraid your neighbor, Monsieur Ratchet, was murdered last night.
Oh my god. I knew it. I knew it.
I would like to ask
やっ
you
ぱり
some
そうだっ
questions,
たのね
but
ってどういう
first,
ことなんで知
may
って
I
るの
inspect your room?
Of course, yes. You must.
何やったっけ。じゃあメイドじゃなかった
I
よ。
must admit I'm not
シェフやったっ
think,
け。
Poirot. That is not a good answer.
いや、なんかめっちゃバリバリ仕事してなかったこの人。
I do not think that's the I must admit I'm not
で
right.
娘いたよな。
Think, Poirot. That is not a this is wrong.
わからへん。アメリカ人主婦の60歳。当てた。
That's the right answer.
もう適当や、当てずっぽいや、これ。探索しましょう。いいんですか？失礼しますね。まずはこちらから。なんやろこれ
Here
は
is。a jacket button.
オ
It
リエント
bears
急
the
行が
logo
デザイン
of
さ
the
れてる。
Orient
す
Express.
ごい。何もないね。オッケー。で、こっちが扉がつながってるけど、こっちは外れてないね。
This door connects to Monsieur Ratchet's compartment. It was latched on this side.
うん、向こうは外れてたけどね。
The luxury of the Orient Express is present in every detail.
ん？なんかあるんやけど、これ触れないんや。違うよ。私が触りたいのはこれじゃない。こうなるんや。じゃあいいか。特に、あ、これがあった。ああ、またヒゲや。
You can never have too many of these.
またこいつ取ったよ。昨晩のこ
Madame,
と。
please tell me about last night.
The murderer was right here in my compartment. I woke up. All in the dark it was. I was just so scared I couldn't scream. I pressed the call button. I pressed and pressed. I heard footsteps running in the corridor, then a knock on my door. Come in, I screamed. And I switched on the lights at the same time. And would you believe it? There wasn't a soul there.
You think he went back into the other compartment?
How do I know where he went? I had my eyes shut tight. The conductor came in. I told the man what had happened, and he didn't seem to believe me. I asked him to search the room, but he found nothing. I told the conductor to look at the door between the compartments, and sure enough, It wasn't bolted. Well, I soon saw to that. I told him to bolt it, then and there.
やっぱ外れてたんや。やっぱりその扉を使って誘導してたんや、犯人は。
How is it you didn't bolt the door between the two compartments?
But I had. Well, as a matter of fact, I asked that Swedish lady, Olsen, Greta, if it was bolted, and she said it was.
How was it you could not see for yourself?
I was already in bed, and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was.
What time was it when you asked her to do this for you?
Oh, it must have been around
10時30
10:30 or
分か。なるほどな。
10:45 p.m. She'd come along to see if I had an aspirin.
アスピ
But
リン。
instead of opening my door, she opened Mr. Ratchet's door by mistake. He said something quite rude, like, "Not a chance, lady, you're too old." It shocked her. She came in. I told her where to find the aspirin, and she got it out of my toiletry bag. Poor girl, she didn't have a good night.
ばあさんは
Same
無理
could
だ
be
なんて。
said for Monsieur Ratchet.
失礼
It
や
appears
な。
Mademoiselle Olsen may be the last person to see Ratchet alive.
Is this your handkerchief?
No, not at all.
Yet it is embroidered with an initial H, like your name.
I don't care. It's not mine, and I would certainly never buy something so impractical as that frilly thing.
Are you a smoker?
No, definitely not.
う
Filthy
ーん。
habit.
じゃあこの人じゃないんかな。たまに思うアメリカ人とは。確かに。事件解決という免罪符を手にしっかりパクっていくポアロ。ごめん。なんか端っこのところさ、このハートのなんか飛ぶスタンプがあるからさ、見えないよな、コメントが。コメント別で拡大するか。これでいいか。確かに。もう
I found a jacket button on
事
your
件解
table.
決し
It
てく
looks
れるなら
like
何
it
してもいい
belongs
感じかもしれん。
to
乗客のもの
a passenger on the train who may have entered your room.
Miss Olsen was my only visitor. Besides the intruder, of course. But that doesn't look like a regular button, does it?
No, it has the Orient Express logo engraved on it. I have not finished inspecting your room. If you don't mind,
実質もさせておくれ。聞いたもんな。やった何部屋の調査することって。全部見たで。あ、これか。
Let's see if Mrs. Hubbard was telling the truth about the latch of the connecting door.
Oh.
This hook is probably where Mrs.
Ah,
Hubbard
so
hung her
なんね。
toiletry bag.
化粧バッグってそんなでかいこの金具見えなくなるぐらい。
This hook is probably where Mrs.
化粧バッグこれこれか。はい、どうも。
I can see the latch very well
は
from
っきり
here.
見えるね、確か
Even
に
with。the toiletry bag attached. I'll have to clear that up with Mrs. Hubbard.
確かに。ミセス
Mrs. Hubbard, you told me that the door connecting the two compartments was closed, correct?
Yes, it was, as I told you. I was already in bed and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was. That's why I asked Miss Olsen to check if it was closed.
嘘ついてるんや。そもそも化粧バッグではなかったんじゃないか。違うんですか？すいません。化粧バッグではあったと。じゃあそもそも布団には入ってませんでした。
clue somewhere to prove she's
違
lying.
うんですか？じゃあそもそもオールソンさんに頼んでいない。
She
え
may be telling the truth, but
Eh?
I cannot be certain.
えもうこれやん。
Are you sure everything you've told me is accurate, Madame Hubbard?
ちょっと私が疑り深かったかな。アメリカ人って結局のところインディアンではって思っている。もともとね、アメリカね、そうやったもんな。そこから周りからいろいろ人が入ってきて、ね、アメリカになったし。
You said you couldn't see the latch from your bed, yet you had to get up from your bed to give Mademoiselle Olsen the aspirin.
No, I stayed in bed and told her the aspirin was in my toiletry bag in the vanity. I did ask her to check if the latch between the compartments was closed.
You must have had a moment in the evening when you could have checked the latch, but you didn't. Why?
I was so tired I didn't feel like getting out of bed. Then the Swedish girl came in.
Mrs. Hubbard, I tested putting your toiletry bag on the door hook as you told me. From your bed, you can easily see the latch on the door. The toiletry bag does not hide the latch at all.
Are you saying I'm lying? It may have been stuck somehow in a different position, or I may not have seen it in the darkness. Or I didn't think to look, you irritating man.
Details matter, madame. A man has been most savagely murdered. You will excuse me if I attempt to separate the truth from the false.
Forget my toiletry bag and focus on who entered my compartment. Probably after killing Mr. Ratchet.
Madame Hubbard is a force to be
自
reckoned
分の
with.
ことしか話さ
But
へ
I
んな。
suspect I'm not done with her.
問いただす ?204 号室を探索する。あ、顧客完了ね。事情聴取しました。次は
Thank you for your assistance, madame.
殺人犯はミシェル氏に目撃されなかった。されずに部屋戻ったんやろ。だってミシェル氏は真夜中に入り口駅のホームにいる。あれ10分に停車した。で15分に持ち場に本人がいなかったのと30分に停車したことで
No, not
違
good.
うか。じゃ駅を出たんやろ10分に。でも30分には停車してた。15分に殺されて20分にこの人は離れた。だから見当たらんかった。そうやな。
While Monsieur Michel was chatting with Monsieur Fauché in the bar car between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m.,
本当にバーに来てた
the
かを
murderer
ちょっと
could
確
have
認しなあかんね。
escaped Ratchet's room without being seen. That was easy.
いや、これはまだ答えを出してはいけない。まずはバーに行こう。何もないよな。足跡とか何もないね。君に聞きたいことがある。あ、聞けないんかい。誰にも話しかけられへんやん、これじゃ。キラーズ・オブ・ザみたいなことが起きるくらいインディアンは軽視されてたけどね。そっか。まあな。植民地時代やからな。また怖いやんお前。 めっちゃ見とるやん。これは自分の部屋やろ。
The mustache comb to tame unruly nuts.
うんうんうん、知ってる。自分の部屋調べてもな。調べられる部屋はないか。
Monsieur Edward Masterman,
じゃあ
I
この人も聞
believe.
かなあかん、秘書さんに
May
も。
I ask you some questions?
I can barely talk.
歯が
I
痛
have
い
a。terrible toothache.
We have a doctor on board the train. Perhaps.
I do not need a doctor. I use essential oils. If you can find my flask of clove oil in my box, I would be grateful.
Fine, if you insist. I will help you.
なんで歯痛いんやろ、この人。え？何も取られへんよ。
Oh, this toothache is torture. Oh, this toothache is torture.
By the smell, I think that the jojoba oil spilled on the other bottles, leaving their labels illegible. I must find another way to find which one is Masterman's toothache remedy. The weighing scale is soaked in jojoba oil. It's unusable. This old scale
え
will do
天
the
秤が
job.
使えるん？なんで？あ、一気に出てきた。でもこれ本人に聞けばいい
To
話じゃ
start,
ない？
I must first arrange the
違う？
vials from the lightest to the
一番軽い
heaviest.
ものが一番重いものをなめらべてよ。こっちの方が軽いんや。じゃあこれ外して、こっちの方が軽いんや。これが一番軽いんやね。これが一番軽いんや。じゃあこれこっちで、じゃあこれとこれやったらこっちが軽いんや。じゃあこれとこれやったらね、これが軽いね。じゃあこれとこれやったらこうか。
Now that I know
よ
the
しよしよ
order,
し。
I
戦
think
争と
that I can
石
easily
油
guess
の
which
銃
one
器
is
権のは
the
奪い合
clove
いでよ
oil.
く知る。なんて言ってた？見てへんかった。なんて言ってた？見てへんかっただけだ。黒いキャップの小瓶はイランオイルだろう。青、黄、赤、黄、緑だ。赤いキャップのクローブオイル。
I don't think this is. Here is Monsieur Masterman's
おお、これ
remedy.
か。よくわからんかった。
Here is your remedy. I hope it will help.
Thank you very much, sir.
インディアン戦争とそれ読んだわ、コメントごめ
I can
ん。
finally
全く同
speak
じの読んじゃっ
without
た
too。much pain. I'm ready to answer your questions.
そんな聞く
You
んやった
are
みたい。す
Monsieur
ごいな。
Ratchet's valet?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Were you told that your employer was murdered?
Yes, sir. A very shocking occurrence.
ショックを受けてる感じはしないけどな。若いやろ。でも39ぐらいか見た目的には。秘書やろ。 アメリカ人やったっけ？
No, not good. Think, Poirot, that this is wrong. But I'm never far from the... I do not think that's the right answer. You are Monsieur Ratchet's valet?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Were you told that your employer was
22じゃないよな、
Yes,
絶対。
A very shocking occurrence.
I must admit I'm not right this. Think, Poirot. That is not... This is wrong.
22なの？
But I'm never far
医
from
者
the
じゃない
truth.
の？医者ではないやろ、絶対。やばいお薬レベルの効き目、怖いな。召使いか？召使いか。秘書じゃないんや。
That was easy. At what hour did you last see Monsieur Ratchet?
It must have been around 9 p.m., sir. That or a little after. I went to bed around 10:30 p.m., same as the person who shares my room, Mr. Foscarelli. He almost immediately began snoring.
What did you do then?
I read, sir, and I spent a while soothing my toothache with clove oil and listening to the snoring.
Did you hear anything during the night?
Yes, my roommate's snoring.
相当うるさかっ
Are
た
you
ん
a
やな。
smoker?
Yes, sir. I have a cigarette now and then to relax.
Tell me about your employer, Monsieur Ratchet.
I've been working for him for 9 months. I should not wish to speak ill of the dead, but he was...
そんな感じする。紳士っぽくはない。
Did you know that he had enemies?
Yes, sir. I heard him discussing some threatening letters, sir, with Mr. McQueen.
Did he mention these letters to you?
He had been reading a letter when I came in. He asked me if I was the one who put it in his compartment. I told him that I had done no such thing, and he should report it to the police at the next station.
How did he respond?
He laughed, sir.
You're joking.
I do not joke, sir.
Forgive me, I can see you do not. Was he taking sleeping pills?
Always when traveling by train, sir.
あ、
He
そ
said
う
he
なん
couldn't
や。
sleep.
じゃあ日常的に
Last
飲ん
night
で
he
たんや
asked
な。
me to give him 2. I did so, along with a glass of water. He dissolved them in the water.
Did you see him drink the water?
No, sir. I left right after I
あ、
gave
そ
him
う
the
なんや。
pills.
見てないんや。本当に2錠で終わらせたのかな。
Was Monsieur Ratchet a smoker?
No. He finds smokers disgusting.
あ、喫
Can
煙
you
者じゃな
tell
いん
me
や。
again why you gave sleeping pills to Monsieur Ratchet?
Yes, I gave him the pills because when he takes the train, he has trouble sleeping. The letter must have worried him. He specifically asked me to prepare the sleeping pills. I didn't see him drink the water with the pills in it.
そうか。本当は見たんちゃい
What
ますか？
evidence can help me prove his
これ
lying?
じゃない本当に見てないんや。じゃあ、これは嘘じゃない？
I have no way to
ほんま
prove
に
his
合って
lying.
るんこれ。では、脅迫状の件もありましたし。
He is lying, and I will
これ
prove
じゃ
it.
ないどれこれしかないやん。
Monsieur, I believe you
これ
are
何
not
隠してる
telling
ん？
me the truth.
What? How can you say that?
予定。
How could he ask you for sleeping pills when he had a meeting written in his agenda?
ああ、
I
そ
am
こそ
very
こ。
sure he had no meeting planned for the middle of last night.
Masterman is right. The meeting in his agenda
お、
was
嘘ついて、おい、間
not
違えてるやん
that。
間違えてますやん。じゃあ、
We heard Monsieur Ratchet call out during the night around 20 to 1. It's doubtful he called out after he took the sleeping pills, but it's
確かに。
possible he took them later.
He asked me to make his drink for him. Maybe he drank it later.
That's true, but it doesn't explain why Ratchet would want to take sleeping pills
確かに、
later
確か
that
に。
night. He received threatening letters. One, it seems, last night. Did you know he had a gun under his pillow?
and even asked for my help to watch over him. I find it strange that he asked you for sleeping pills when he was afraid for his life and prepared to defend himself.
I'm sure I don't know. Maybe to calm his nerves, maybe out of habit.
It makes no sense.
Wait, please. Isn't it possible that Mr. Ratchet asked me to prepare the pills, but didn't plan to drink them for some reason?
It is possible. But I am a student of character, monsieur, and the Monsieur Ratchet you describe is not the man I met.
If you'll excuse me, my toothache is getting
即効
worse
性ある
again.
けど
I'm
持
afraid
続性は
this
ないんや
time you
な。
must prepare your own clove oil.
すぐ歯痛くなるやん。わからん。銃を使って我が身を守ろうとしてんのに寝たら本末転倒やからな。ねえ、意味ないもんね。ここは誰やったっけ？ああ、お宅ですか？
I believe I am addressing Monsieur Hector McQueen.
Guilty as charged.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, sorry. Just an expression. My father used to say it.
You must have had an interesting childhood. I am Hercule Poirot.
No need to be modest. You're a detective.
You are Monsieur Ratchet's secretary.
I am Mr. Ratchet's
これが
secretary.
秘書か。
Just over a year. I mainly take care of translating certain texts for him. Mr. Ratchet only speaks English.
Prepare yourself for a shock.
知ってるやろ、
Your
さすがに。
employer,
召使い知ってるんやから。
Is dead.
So they got him after all.
What do you mean? You are assuming he was murdered?
I know he had enemies.
あまり悲しそうな感じせえへ
What
んな。
can you tell me about Monsieur Ratchet?
He was American. He was an
うん、
antiques
骨
dealer.
董品のディーラーやったん
I
や。
don't know much more. Mr. Ratchet never talked about himself.
仕入れとかで結構悪いことしたんか
I
な。
think Ratchet wasn't his real name. And he left the United States to run away
あ、
from
そうなん
something
や。
or someone.
Yes?
He started getting letters, threatening letters.
Do you still have them?
I have one.
Did you know that Monsieur Ratchet had asked for my help?
Asked you? No, I didn't know.
He knew he was in danger. When did you last see him?
Last night around 10 o'clock, I should say.
Did you like your employer, Monsieur McQueen?
No, I did not. He was, I'm sure, a cruel
やっぱ
and
みんなに嫌われて
dangerous
たんや
man.
な。ラチェットの
I
日記。
found a diary in Monsieur Ratchet's safe. Did you know about it?
I kept a business appointment book, but I know he had a personal diary as well. That looks like it.
出演者です
Are
か
you a smoker?
Yes, I smoke cigarettes.
あ
I've
あ、
tried to quit,
紙
but
巻き
no
か。電子じゃないんか。
Can you give me this letter, please?
of course, here it is.
死の時どういうこと？うん。
Was Monsieur Ratchet a
タバ
smoker?
コ嫌ってたんちゃう？
No, he hated the smell
No.
of smoke.
あ、犯行の夜聞くの忘れてた。いけねい
Can
け
you
ね。
tell me your movements last night?
I went back to my compartment. I read a little. In Belgrade, I went out onto the platform to smoke, but it was cold. I quickly went back in. I then went to Mr. Ratchet's compartment to take some dictation for him. I left around 10 o'clock. I saw Captain Arbuthnot.
うんうん。
We ended up chatting in my compartment. Then we went out on the platform to quickly stretch our legs at Vinkovsky. He left around 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
I will need to check Monsieur McQueen's story with
うんうん
Captain
うん。そう
Arbuthnot.
しようそうしよう。パイはどこにいたっけ？この部屋調べるもんあったっけな？ないな。これだっけ？ちょ。パイはどこやったっけ？前の車両か。ここには誰も座ってないねんな。一人で全部見るって大変やな、これ。これあたりの部屋。犯行現場。お隣さんのマダムの部屋。食堂か。違うね。向こうか。 電車は男らしくないからな。絶対ギャングなんかに手出して命狙われてるやん。絶対そうやで。片っ端からドア開ける不審者。あ、こいつやったっけ？ああ、じゃあ君じゃない。お前ようそんなのんきに朝食食っとんの。
But it is progressing, yes. I still have many questions that must be answered. I'll report to you as soon as I can.
おい、人が頑張ってんのに、お、こいつクロワッサン食ってんで、嘘やろ？ふざけんなって。誰もいません。あ。
The Orient Express bar is certainly well stocked.
トイレね。んで、こっちが、あれやろ？スタッフルーム。あ、こっちがレストランか。二人ともおるね。二人に話を聞くことはできないんか。何が入ってるん？ワイン？ビール？でも飲めないんか。おー、こんなところにつけひげがあったなんて。荷物車か。あれ？あの人は隊員はどこにおるんやろ。不審者度が上がってる。そんな、だってわかんないんだもん、場所が。あれ？あの人どこにおるん？ちゃうよね。いつもちゃうか。
I found a button from an Orient Express staff jacket. Did you lose one by any chance?
No, monsieur. As you can see, I have all my buttons.
取れてないんや。
It is not mine.
そうか。あれ？あ、これね。ラチェットは殺人になったらフランス語を話していたようだ。でもこの人は英語以外喋れないって言ってたよな。そうやん。動画中喋ったのは違う人や。てかフランス語が喋れるっていうと、まあフランス人か。
No, not good.
そうやね、これか。じゃあフランス人か翻訳ができるあの秘書さんやろ。で、挙句の果てに置物を盗んでいくし。勝手に冷蔵庫と貯蔵庫開けっぱなしにして侵入していくのやばいやつ。もうね。でも仕方ない。気になっちゃったんだから。読んでなかったよ。ラチェットは睡眠薬を飲む。犯人はラチェットの部屋に入る。犯人は銃でラチェットを殺し、銃をラチェットの枕の下に隠す。犯人は事件をナイフをも使ったなんとかによる殺人に見せかける。犯人は部屋を出るためミシェル氏が休憩するのを待つ。なるほど。休憩するのを待つってことはさ、休憩時間があるってことを分かってたってことやん。それが何時なのかって分かってたってことやん。ほう。睡眠薬飲んだ。犯人はラチェットの部屋に入る。犯人がナイフでラチェットを刺す。犯人はラチェットが生きていると思わせるためミシェル氏を呼ぶ。犯人は窓から逃走を試みる。列車行きの中で立ち往生している。犯人は部屋を出るためミシェル氏が休憩するのを待つ。やっぱみんな待つんや。ラチェットは睡眠薬を飲む。犯人はラチェットの部屋に入る。犯人がナイフでラチェットを刺す。犯人はラチェットが生きている 犯人は窓に。いや、外からは絶対ないって言ってたから、これや。
My little gray cells did not let me down.
名探偵探偵名乗るより空き巣兼強盗でよくないか。いや、そんなことない、そんなことないよ。そんなことない、そんなことない。いや、結論付けたはいいけれどもやで。いや、犯人はどうやって出たのよって普通に。この後どうすればいいん？マックイーンさんって誰やったっけ？ああ、報告しよう。なるほど、報告しに行こう。あいつクロワッサン食べやがって。まあ秘書か召使いのあたりがグレーゾーン。確かにね、恨みを買っているっていう点ではね。
So, my friend, have you found our killer?
Not yet, but I will tell you what I have learned.
Please.
Our assassin could have gotten on the train at Vinkovsky disguised as a conductor, entered Ratchet's room and killed him. Then he walked out through Madame Hubbard's connecting door, where he lost a button from his jacket. He had to wait for Monsieur Michel to be absent. He waited too long. The train had left the station.
He was trapped aboard.
Indeed. He had opened the window to make it look that he'd escaped that way. However, if he waited until the train stopped again due to snow, his footprints would have been found.
The murderer is still among us. On the train.
そう、この中にいるよ、まだ
The
犯
problem
人
is
が。
the second-class toilets.
嘘やん。
What now?
All morning passengers have been complaining that the door is locked, so I went to check. I knocked, but no one answered. I didn't think I should open it without speaking to you first.
You did well, Monsieur Michel. Lead the way.
中に犯人がいるかもしれへんし、第二の被害者がいるかもしれへん。
I used my master key.
But who is she? Is she alive?
She is breathing.
Then if she isn't dead, isn't she our murderer?
That, my friend, is what we must find out.
この人何の人やったっけ？あ、待って待って待って待って、ずっと追いかけてた人やん、遠くからずっと見て。
Miss, can you hear me?
ただ似てるだけ？
Breathing. Her pulse is strong. There is no sign of physical violence. This woman is sleeping very soundly.
寝てるだけやん。ちゃんと持ってはいる
Ticket
な。
reads
Joanna
Joanna
Locke.
Locke, traveling in
105
compartment
号室か。
105.
105。彼
This
女は生き
woman
ている。
is sound asleep. Given her location, I would say she has been drugged and deposited
ぶち抜いて
here.
顔出すか。怖いよ、
Least
怖い怖い。
It's
シャイ
not
ニングそ
another
れ。
murder on my train.
The train is, of course, full.
Monsieur, the list I gave you indicates that Hildegard Schmidt shares her compartment.
I will want to
Schmidt-san
talk to
か。
her later. For now, we will concentrate on this mysterious young lady. Let's return her to her more comfortable bed.
Good idea. Pierre, locate this woman's room and fetch the doctor.
いや、
Yes, sir.
だから105号室やって。
I will question her when she wakes up.
Please, let me know what you learn.
わかったわかった。
Mademoiselle Locke's compartment is 105. I suggest we
105.
return her to her more comfortable bed.
Yes, hopefully she will awaken soon.
Hmm. 部屋の中を探すか。勝手に失礼しますよ。いや、女性の手荷物を勝手に見てしまうっていうのはちょっと、うわー、あかんねー。申し訳ない気持ちでいっぱいではあるが。
briefcase,
ないや
and
ん。
a wagon-ly conductor's jacket, and the button
こい
is
つ犯人
missing.
やん。絶対そうやん。
A cup of tea with white residue
同じのが入
at
って
the
る？
bottom.
この鍵を開けるヒントがどこかにあるはずだ。いや、わからへん。わからへん。わからへんよ。詰まった、詰まった、詰まった。行き詰まりました。え、こんなヒントないなんて困るって。まだなんかある？中に。ないよ。ピエール君いらん仕事まで回されてかわいそう。真似して英語喋るちかちゃんかわいい。ありがとう、ありがとう。意外にね、発音ちゃんとできんだよ。せめて許可取れよ、ポアロ。確かに、でも許可取る相手が寝てるからね。まあ、今回は致し方ない。いや、マジでさ、この鍵の秘密を教えてほしい、誰か。誰かお願い。私にこの秘密を教えてくれ。わからん。起きて。起きて。ロック機教えて。どいて。お前がそこにいるから出られへんやないかい。どいてーな。これ後回しにできないんか？教えたらネタバレになっちゃう。じゃあヒントだけ教えて、ヒント。どこに答えがあるかヒント教えて。お願い、お願い。お願いやって。これ絶対睡眠薬飲んだ。マジでダイアンも見るもん。真上？ゆっくり見よう。何か見逃しているんかもしれん。落ち着け。こういう時は冷静に落ち着いて行動することが大事や。待って、ここにヒントないかな。出てこうへんかった。ああ、ロックのタンブラーから手応え。ごめん。ごめん。ごめん。ごめん。ごめん。見てしまった。ごめん。自分の欲求には抗えへん。ほんまにごめん。待って。こうやって探せばよかったんや、自分で。
So, Poirot, any luck so far?
黙れ。黙る
Have
な
you。tried 0000?
うるせ
Have
え
you tried 1?
うるせえ
two?
喋るんじゃない静かにしてくれ
Book, silent like a mouse, please.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'll be quiet now. You need to concentrate. I will not utter another word. Not one.
Book, there will be another murder on the Orient Express in a moment.
静かにしたまえこのデブちゃんはい静かにいやー分かってたよ天才やさすが私拳銃持ってる
She has a gun.
Come, Poirot. Criminals are often known to carry one.
Ratchet was stabbed, not
そうや
shot.
な銃じゃ
Then
ない
why
な
take it on the train?
身の危険を感じてたのか
Her driver's license confirms her
American.
identity. She is American.
These are fake IDs. It's certain.
娘さんの写真かな。
The stuffed animal is the
あ
same as in the photo.
確かに
found
確か
at
に
the
確かに
crime
確か
scene.
に。
What a coincidence.
ほんまや。
Mother Locke appears to have been investigating Monsieur Ratchet.
The stuffed animal is the
What a coincidence.
Mademoiselle,
the stuffed a-
What?
the stuffed a-
What?
mademoiselle,
すいません、何回も。調べてるわ。
Mademoiselle Locke seems very interested in our victim.
ルーム203号室っ
She
て
has
ことまで
studied
分かっ
the
てる。
target.
Possibly. This badge says that Joanna Locke is an
刑事？
American detective
うわ、
with
警
the
察まで敵に回せ
Berkshire
たんや、あい
Police
つ。
Department in Massachusetts.
An American police officer? Oh. Look, she's waking up.
考えて打ってたら答え出てく
Thanks
さ。
to you, I would not be surprised if our murder victim were also waking up.
What?
Oh, my head. What's all the yelling about?
Who are you? Give me a good reason why you should not be in handcuffs.
I can give you a reason, Book. Whose handcuffs will we use? I have none. Do you?
Well,
You are Joanna Locke, mademoiselle?
Yes, Joanna Locke. I'm
ジャーナロック。
I'm a
ああ、かっこい
detective.
い。言い方かっこよかった。
Berkshire, Massachusetts Police.
I have found your credentials, mademoiselle.
And I know who you are, Mr. Poirot.
Then, if
Yo,
the
知ってますね。
introductions are complete, perhaps the explanations may begin.
I'll try. It's simple, really. I'm on the trail of a murderer.
やっぱりあいつ殺人までしてたんや、ラチェット。グロッ
I had
ク
just been
19 持
promoted
っ
to
てるのは
detective
刑事
after
だから
5
か。
years on patrol.
あ
It was my
ー、
first time on a major case. It had been a month since Daisy Armstrong was kidnapped. The Armstrongs were desperate for some sign of hope. I was there only for paperwork, to fill in some blanks.
デイジー・アームストロング。
A topographical map, often more important than a road map in these mountains.
事件の概要かな、これが。デイジー・アームストロング。3歳の少女、ジョン・アームストロングとソニア・アームストロングの娘。被害者は2019年2月24日の夜に誘拐された。誘拐は社交パーティーが開催されていたアームストロング邸で発生した。ちなみってことは自宅で犯行が起こったんや。デイジーの子守であるミズ・モローは午後10時45分頃にデイジーがいなくなっていることに気づいた。子供の寝室の窓の外にははしごが見つかった。これはデイジーを家から連れ出すために使われたものだ。普段は内側から施錠されている窓が開いている状態で発見された。家の近くの森林森中で四輪駆動車のタイヤ痕が見つかった。四輪駆動車を運転してきたパーティー客はいない。2019年3月1日、法執行機関の手続きが整った後に、アームストロング家は身代金の要求指示に従って$100万の身代金を支払った。その後、誘拐犯からの連絡はなく、デイジーも帰ってきていない。捜査は現在も継続している。ジョン・アームストロング38歳、イギリス軍退役大佐。我々は地元の博物館の資金集めのために交流会を開いていました。人がたくさんいて、一部には全く顔を知らない人もおりました。我々は皆慌ただしくしておりました。するとデイジーの子守であるスザンヌの叫び声が聞こえてきたのです。午後10時45分か午前10時50分頃だったはずです。どっち ?12 時間ぐらい差あるよ。妻と私は2階のデイジーの部屋に行きました。スザンヌはひどく興奮して叫んでおり、デイジーはベッドにはおらず、枕元には身代金を要求する手紙が置かれていたのです。なあ。大佐やったで。大尉じゃなかった。ね。娘を探してるんや、この人は。 ソニア・アームストロング。最後にデイジーを見たのは午後10時30分頃、部屋に様子を見に行った時でした。スザンヌがいないことに気づきましたが、デイジーはすやすやと眠っていました。私は10分ほどあの子のそばにいました。スザンヌが部屋にすぐに戻ってくるだろうと思い、私はパーティーに戻りました。その10分間の間で犯行が行われたんや。子守、コンピューター入力エラー。どういうこと？こんな音で聞こえるんかな、この大豪邸に。
Good evening, Colonel Armstrong?
Yes.
大佐顔傷
You're
つ
the
いてなかった？
detective they phoned about.
Joanna Locke.
I don't remember you.
I'm newly assigned to the
だいぶ
case.
老けて
It's
る感
about
じしてんけ
time
ど。
more detectives were involved. My wife, Sonia, she hasn't been herself. Every day is a waking nightmare for us. Tell me you've uncovered something new.
I'm here to speak to your daughter's nanny. There was a computer problem. Her earlier statement has been lost.
Oh, I see. We had hoped. Well, do as you wish. I won't be far if you need me.
辛いなあ、娘がいなくなったなんて。どこにいるいたっけ？ああ、ここね。
Hello, are you Suzanne Moreau, Daisy's nanny?
Yes?
I'm Joanna Locke, a detective working on Daisy's case.
Is there any news?
I'm afraid not.
How can I help you?
I'm really sorry. I'm afraid I have to take your statement again concerning the evening of Daisy's disappearance. There was a computer problem. Your statement was accidentally deleted.
Of course. I want to help any way I can.
Tell me about that night in your own words.
The Armstrongs had a party to raise money for a museum, I think. Mrs. Armstrong is on her board. I was in charge of Daisy. I stayed with the little one all evening, playing with her and reading books to her. She couldn't sleep with all the noise and the comings and goings.
When did you notice Daisy was missing?
I was only gone 5 minutes to phone my mother. She's in the hospital. When I returned, Daisy wasn't in her bed. I thought she might have gone to look at the party, but then I saw the ransom note on her pillow. I screamed and screamed. I couldn't stop.
Did you notice anything unusual before that?
I was with Daisy all evening. Finally, she fell asleep. I didn't see anyone else or notice anything in particular.
Do you have any idea who did this?
No! I can't see who could have done such a horrible thing. The Armstrongs are such good people. Like my own family.
Thank you for giving me your statement again. I'll get back to you if I have any questions.
I won't be far.
Okay, I have Suzanne's statement. But her answers need some checking. A toy train. Now here I am on a real one. Lyon. In France. What a... Nothing shocks me. Hey, I'm a pretty good detective after all.
お、こいつもまあ自信家やね。単位だと低すぎると思ったんや。めったにもらえない十字章までもらってって何ねえ、ポアロも同じようなことね、気づいてたね。もら
Tell me about that night in your own words.
The Armstrong, Mrs. Armstrong, I stayed. She...
つまり奥さんからも話を聞かないといけんか。どこですか奥様。絶対これ子供部屋やな。妊娠してる奥さん。 人目
Mrs. Armstrong, my name is Joanna Locke. I'm a detective investigating the kidnapping of your daughter. May I talk to you? When is your baby due? Mrs. Armstrong? Sonia?
I don't want to talk. I just want to see my daughter again. That's all that matters.
The poor woman.
何も話したくない
Everything looks okay here.
で
Nothing shocks me here. That's it. No rookie mistake there.
あ、これでやってるらしい。なんてかわからんけど。あ、
Mrs.
死んね。
Let me show you this.
Daisy, my little Daisy. I miss her so much. How good it is to see her face.
I can't imagine the pain you're feeling right now.
She loved her little stuffed animal, Fluffy. She took him everywhere with her.
Fluffyって名前なんや。
Kidnappers took it as well. They didn't have to. That means they wouldn't hurt her, doesn't it?
Every lead will be followed up. You have my word on that.
Thank you. I shouldn't lose hope. Somehow.
I know it isn't my case, but I just made a promise, and I mean to keep it. Do you know where I can find Miss Moreau?
She's
おも
in
ろ
her
さっき
room.
よ。もう会っちゃった先に。
Last door on the left.
Tell me about the night Daisy was taken, especially anything about your daughter and Suzanne Moreau.
Apart from seeing to our guests, I took a moment to check on Suzanne and Daisy in Daisy's room. Suzanne wasn't there, but Daisy was asleep. I sat with her for 10 minutes or so. Suzanne didn't return while I was there, but there's no reason for her to sit there all night when Daisy is asleep. I went back downstairs.
May I come back if I have more questions?
Of course. Anything I can do.
Okay, the story is Sonia and Suzanne.
よしよしよし、早速。部屋を出ていたのは5分だけです。母に電話をかけためです。母は病院にいます。私の時レジは別にいませんでした。ペアトを見に行ったんだと思いました。でもその時枕元に身代金要求の手紙を見つけました。私は叫びました。叫び続けました。やめられませんでした。スザンヌ・モロ
Nothing shocks me here. That is not exactly what Suzanne told me earlier. Suzanne was on the phone more than 5 minutes.
こうね、
The detective gets it
こ
right.
んな5分以上も誰と喋ってたんやっていうね。これはスザンヌ、あ、
The
これ
world
か
through the eyes of a child seems so sweet. If I understand you correctly, you left Daisy when she was not asleep?
The party was very loud. Daisy was too wound up to sleep. I read her a Motley Mule detective story to try and put her to sleep. Daisy finally fell asleep. Right before Motley Mule solved his case in the book I was reading her. I had to make a quick phone call. No more than 5 minutes. But when I came back, Daisy was gone.
いやもうこれ分かってるよ、どこかなんて。5分やろ。こうよ、ここここ。
Are you sure you were only gone for 5 minutes?
5, 6, what does it matter? It was very quick.
You say you were only away 5 or 6 minutes. but Mrs. Armstrong says she was alone there more like 10 minutes. And the phone record shows that you stayed on the call for more than 30 minutes, way longer than you said.
My mother is extremely ill. It's difficult for me. I may have lost track of time. When I came back, Daisy had disappeared. It must have been a coincidence.
You have to be precise, Suzanne. A little girl's life is at stake.
Why are you doing this? I didn't do anything wrong. I would never hurt Daisy.
I need to check Suzanne's story. She's panicking. Why now?
いやでも
What is she afraid
自
of?
分のミスを指摘されるのは怖いんちゃう？
I should see if the Armstrongs can confirm what Suzanne told me.
電話かけに行くやろ？階段登る？じゃあで入ってきたときに待って待って、誘拐犯で正面から来て、ああそういうことね。2階建てとかそんなんやからか。登りました、レージャー立てかけました、さらいました、降りました、消える。
No, I did something wrong.
こうか？
No, this isn't it. Think.
立てかけてから階段、正面ドアで階段登った？これか。
Hey, I'm a pretty good detective.
会話が弾めば他人でもそれぐらいならいけるやろ。確かにね。自信家ってそういうとこあるからな。
Then he joins the party. Just one guest in the crowd. He somehow knows
知らん人もおったって言ってたからパーティーに紛れててもおかしくないよな。
Carries her down the ladder and vanishes.
もう一人ある。もう一つあるか。どういうことこれ何？
I don't need Mr. Poirot to tell me I'm wrong.
なんでポアロが出てくる？
I did something wrong.
彼女のアリバイを確認する。待って。捜査記録どこ？捜査記録見れないやん。これ。車に置いてきたんちゃう？まあ、いっか。
I spoke with Suzanne. She was phoning her mother. That's why you didn't see her when you went to check on Daisy.
Yes, her mother. I tried to call the poor woman earlier that week, but the hospital said she's been in a medically induced coma for more than 2 months.
Suzanne told me she called her mother, but she would have known her mother was in a coma.
でもいい趣味した家やな。ね、確かに綺麗。水モローの連絡先がわからへん。母親の連絡先が。本人に聞けばわかるかな。
I should see if the Armstrongs can confirm what Suzanne told me.
夫婦にってことは夫にもしなあかんのか。お父さんどこやったかな。ここか。
How are you doing? Are you holding up?
You know, in the military, you're supposed to have the stiffest of upper lips. The Desert War taught me that soon enough. But this, it's difficult. Damned difficult. Harder on my good lady, of course.
Do you know where I can find Miss Moreau?
Her room is upstairs across the hall from Daisy's. She seldom leaves it.
Did you see Miss Moreau during the party?
I remember seeing her at some point, but otherwise, no. I was too busy with my guests. Wear the smile, shake the proffered hand.
Ms. Moreau told me she called her mother.
Well, why not? I believe they are very close, and the poor woman is not well. She needs some experimental treatment that isn't available yet in France.
I won't be long.
Take whatever time you need.
I won't be long.
Take whatever time you need.
Their fairy tale became a nightmare.
他には全く同じ写真やなこれ。他に笑顔とかないんかな。入れないんやここ。やっぱ車に戻って連絡先を調べなあかん。通話記録。これやな。413-555-2700から555-2140へ電話。2140ね。オッケー。すいません。ここから出ろってことね。12340
That is a great detective job.
家建ってる時に趣味を前面に出すか最低限まで金額取るのが2択になるんよね。譲ってもらうと中途半端な感じになるけど、建てるとどうしても趣味極限極端になるんよね。なるほどね。病院がまた聞かなあかんのか。いやでもマイホームって夢あるよな。でもいろいろ修理とかさ、ちょっと20年とかしたら出てきそうやしな。絶対管理とかマンションに買った方が管理とかの方がいいんかなと思うけど。
The number you called that night is no longer in service.
I don't understand. That's the number the hospital gave me to call my mother's room.
You told me you were on the phone with your mother when Daisy was abducted.
As we said earlier, I didn't pay attention and was on the phone longer than I said. But since my mother is very ill, she had to leave her hometown, Lyon, because the treatment is not approved yet in France. She is in an hospital in Boston for a special treatment. I call her every night to check on her. When I came back, Daisy was gone. I'll never forgive myself.
ここで嘘を暴かなあかん。これちゃうか、本当はボストンに。うわ、ちゃうんや。本当にボストンいるんや。
Come on, Joanna.
違うの？じゃあこれか。
Are you sure you called your mother?
Yes. Every night since she was admitted in December.
ほんまか。
Your mother had to leave a country renowned for its social security, where healthcare is affordable, and go to Boston for expensive specialized treatment. I imagine that the cost of her care must be high. Did you think that your share of the ransom would pay for your mother's care?
How can you think that I would allow Daisy to be kidnapped for money? She's like my daughter. I could never imagine such a thing.
Her reaction seemed sincere, but I needed to see how she'd react. Suzanne, I checked. The number you say is a hospital appears to be disconnected. That's pretty strange, don't you think?
It's always worked in the past.
The area code for Boston is 617. This was 413. That's our local area code. She's obviously lying, but why? She seems to really care about Daisy.
どういうこと？あとはママが昏睡状態やってことやな。
Suzanne, I think you really care for Daisy. If you do, Then tell me the truth. You can't have been calling your mother while she's in a coma.
My mom really is in a hospital in Boston. She really is in a coma. I wasn't calling her. I was on the phone with my boyfriend, Noah.
Why lie about it? Why are you panicking?
Because he's gone. I haven't heard from him since the night of the kidnapping. I'm afraid he's somehow connected to Daisy's disappearance. That he was just using me somehow. But I swear I talked to him. Yes, for more like 30 minutes that night. So he couldn't have kidnapped Daisy at the same time we were talking.
But he could have kept you talking so someone else could take Daisy.
Yes,
あなたをその場から離すために。
Can't you? I was afraid you'd suspect me of having something to do with it. You can understand that, can't you?
Suzanne, I want to believe you, but you've made it harder to find Daisy. Do you realize that?
Oh my god. What have I done?
What's most important is not what you've done, but what you do now. Go. I'll be back to talk to you. No more lies, Suzanne. For Daisy. No more lies.
ああ、男と喋ってたんや。いや、その男は、
The name might lead us to that little girl. I am on this case now.
その日何があって、いつ、その少女、ここの娘さんのところに、ベビーシッターの彼女が行くかとか、全部分かってたんやね。ただ、家具に来る人もいるし、自分で改築するのが好きって人もいて、大概、なんて文字が読めない。一概に来る人が趣味を前面に出すとも言えない。なるほどね。趣味は置いといて雰囲気大事にするかもしれんしね。何？フランスとイギリス。本屋。何？
A locked diary? A locked Let's see if I can shine some light on its secrets. A locked diary? Let's see if I can shine some light on its secrets.
鍵を探さなあかんね。おお。
A card from the florist. It's signed N.
N から始まるお店の名前かな。これは？はあって何？メガネケースちゃう？これは。
What's in the glass case? Ah, big surprise. Glasses.
ティッシュか。
I expect Suzanne must have gone through a lot of tissues these past weeks.
あ、鍵？違うか。キーホルダーやっぱ
Eiffel
り。
Tower keychain, but no key.
この鍵がどっか行っちゃったのかな。
Small jewelry box. By the size, I'm guessing earrings.
彼からもらったやつかな。ああ、鍵あったよ。
Why put a key in a jewelry box?
どうもありがとう。これで使えるよ。メガネか、最近シルクを教えてニーロみたいなのに変えたんよね。あ、そうなん。メガネ変えたんや。
That doesn't work.
あ、ごめんなさい。
That doesn't work.
そうだ、この鍵じゃないってことか。そういうこと？
Okay, Suzanne. Let's see what
い
you
や、
have.
もう一回見てよかった。逆なんてことあるんこれ。ああ、彼との日記ね。私は仕事の話をたくさんした。私がどれだけアームストロング家を愛しているのかと聞かせた。 特にデイジーのこと、アームストロングさんが私たちの関係のために投資してくれてるって感じる。最近はこんな素敵な人って珍しいと思う。バレンタインデー、ノアと私はお気に入りのレストラン、ブルーラグーンにランチをしに行った。最初はとっても良かったけど、それから変なことが起こった。ノアがテキストメッセージを受信して、それが何だったのか私にはわからないけど、ここを出なくちゃと彼は言った。彼は他に何も言わなかった。代わりに私たちはどこかの山へと向かった。それがどこだったのかわからないけど、私たちはようやく小さな小屋にたどり着いた。彼は私に車で待つようにと言った。ロマンチックなバレンタインが台無し。ノアがお花をくれた。彼は普段とっても気を使ってくれるけど、今日は少しよそよそしいように感じた。どこか悪くないといいけど、もっと耐えてほしいけど、彼のプライベートを邪魔するようなことはしたくない。ローガンらしい。デスクワークをやめろと言われたけど、書類の方が多いって言ったら慰められて気をつけるよう言われて終わった。ローガンまだ30ちょっとやんな。早くないローガン。やたら思想強いな。ね。日記を書く記録はなくて、最後の日付からだいぶ空いてしまった。書くのはこれが最後になると思う。私の可愛いデイジーが誘拐されてしまった。そしてその日からノアと連絡が取れていない。デイジーがさらわれた夜のことだった。電話口で彼はずっと話し続けていて、私はデイジーを長い間置き去りにしてしまった。そしてデイジーはいなくなった。ノアは私のことを愛してくれていると思ったけど、もう電話をかけてくることも何もない。あの夜以来、彼は私のメッセージに返事をしなくなった。あの夜デイジー、私はどうすればいいの？デイジーがいなくなったのは私のせい？私がデイジーを見ていなかったから。
I can see why Suzanne didn't tell me everything about this, Noah. It's clear when you disappeared that she realized something was very wrong.
Hmm. 奥さんにとりあえず聞こう。このこと知ってるか。
Can you tell me anything about Suzanne's boyfriend?
I know she dated our chauffeur for a while. There was someone else she met recently, but I don't recall his name.
運転手やったね。
Know anything about Miss Moreau's boyfriend?
Her boyfriend? I know she went out with someone for a while there. More recently, I saw a man in a 4x4 who would pick her up on her nights off. He never got out of his car, just waited for her. She did seem to spend more time than usual on the phone these past few weeks, but she worked hard. We weren't going to begrudge her what free time she had. Since the abduction, she keeps pretty much to herself.
I won't be long.
Take whatever time you need.
急に四輪駆動車？あ、ここか。ああ、そういうことか。
These tire tracks could well be from Suzanne's boyfriend's 4x4.
いや、早く彼氏は言うといてくれたらすぐ分かったことやのに。
No rookie mistake there.
遠くは見えるし人も見えるから終了に影響はないけど不安や。また30と少しやで、アラフォーにも入ってないし、単純に PC とか細かい文字の見過ぎらしい。なるほどね。職場まで彼氏が迎えに来るのはどうかと思うけどな。まあダメとは思わんけどな。目の前に来るとはあれやけど、ちょっと離れたところにいてくれたらありがたいかな。
I imagine these flowers must have been beautiful. Who gave them to you?
The gardener. They're getting pretty wilted, but I hate to throw them away.
Tell me about your boyfriend. Have you been together long?
My boyfriend? Why? He doesn't have anything to do with this.
Please, Suzanne, the sooner you answer my question, the sooner we'll be done.
His name is Noah Garrity. I met him at a Lunar New Year party in Great Barrington. He is a kind and caring person. Although, well, I miss him. He had to go away on business. He should be back.
なるほどね。
Tread marks of a four-wheel drive vehicle were found outside the garden on the night of the kidnapping. Noah drives one, doesn't he? Where is he, Suzanne? If you know anything more about him, you have to tell me.
I know what you're thinking, but it's impossible. He was very nice to me. He never did anything to make me
あかんっ
suspicious.
てもう
We
洗
went
脳
out
さ
to
れ
eat,
てるや
to the
ん。
movies. Just like a normal couple. He's not the only man in the Berkshires who drives that kind of car.
It says detective on your badge.
うわー、ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
I need evidence she's lying.
違うの
Not guesswork.
ね、依存的やね。絶対捨てられたんやで、これ。
I don't see anything that proves she's lying.
じゃあこれですか。
You really didn't notice anything strange about Noah until he vanished?
He could get moody at times, as if he had a lot on his mind.
Anything odd about the day you went to the movies?
No, nothing. People do that on dates.
I have to ask, Suzanne. We have to cover everything. In your diary, you say that Noah took you to a cabin in the mountains on Valentine's Day.
You read my diary?
I'm sorry, but we have to find Daisy. We both want that. So yes, I looked in your diary.
You're
まあ
right.
先に
He
一応
took me
声
to
か
a
けた方
cabin
が良
in
かっ
the
たかな。
woods. I waited for him in the car. He came out after a few minutes. He was very sweet and apologetic, but he never explained. We went back to the restaurant for dessert.
Did you ever go back to the cabin with him?
No, never.
So what made Noah drive all the way to a cabin in the middle of nowhere? He left her in the car. Why was he there? This is important. I know it is. I can use Suzanne's directions to the cabin and compare them to the map of the area I have in my car.
あー、地図とね。この辺にあるんか。小さな小屋まで女の子連れてったんちゃうか、その小屋に。まあ無断で読んだら文句言われるよな。そりゃそうよ。まあでもな、それで読まないでくださいなんて、絶対読まないでくださいなんて言われたら、それはそれでいや読むんですけ
Thanks
ど
to the
ね。読
information
むんですけ
Suzanne
ど、
gave
みたい
me,
な。
I should be able to find the cabin on this map.
小さな山小屋。街を出て2つの
Doesn't really match.
違う分かってるけどマウスが反応せえへんよ。2つの橋を木々を抜けながら立って左手にトウモロコシ畑が出てきたと。左手？ほんまに左手
？Probably not here. That can't be the right
待
place.
って、マウスが反応せえへん。マップが動かへん。あ、こういうことね。町を出て、どの町？この町？この町か？この町を出て、2つの橋を木々を抜けながらってことは、川が2回あったってことやろ？ 2 つの橋ってことは。1個、2個あって、左手にあるトウモロコシ畑を越えました。これ右手やね。とりあえず一応これにしとくか。
Probably not here.
このまおうちの猫ちゃんがこれ左手にあるけどな。ここ
Doesn't really match.
待って、わからん。 街を出て2つの橋を木々を抜けながら行って、1個2個左手にあった。あ、これちゃうこれ。街を出て1個目の橋2個目の橋を越えたら左手にトウモロコシ畑を越えました。それから木がこう茂った場所に入りて小屋に停車しました。これや。
The cabin has to be here. I have to find that cabin. I hope I'm not too late.
Where?
Okay, here's this famous cabin.
調べてみよ
う。Let's investigate.
待ってな、ちょっとうちの猫が鳴いてる。よいしょ。
Hello? Is anyone there?
Is anyone there? って言ってた。
Nobody. I can't just waltz in without a warrant.
じゃあ周り見よ
う。That window is too high to see through.
覗けないか。秋やね。窓ではないんか。お。
That barrel is sturdy enough. I could climb on it.
あれ？なんか人形ない？あそこ上に。人形ない？
Ugh, an old hunting trophy starting to molt.
It's
Daisy's plush toy. If Fluffy is here, the kidnapper has been here. I have to get inside this cabin. Empty wine bottles. Somebody has been here lately.
手前には誰もおらへんね。ベッドの上にもいないし。これは無理やりにでも中入らなあかん案件や。
The broom isn't sturdy enough to force the door. The door is solid and the lock is new. I have to find a way to open this door.
え？これは？お、女やん。
Perfect for attacking doors.
これでシャイニングやんこれも。いやもうそのもの持っといた方がいいんちゃう？中に誰かいるかもしれへんで。手袋をするんや。意味わからへんこの人。
Look at that. A broken door to investigate. No need for a warrant. The stove is cold. Nobody's been here recently. The floor is scratched and worn in this area. The sofa must have been moved a lot.
おー出て書かれてたけど、女ちゃうか。ね、女やったね。この下か。え？
Damn, it's booby-trapped. If I move, it could go off, and that countdown tells me it wants to go off anyway.
違うね。これどうすればいい？同じマークすればいいんやろ多分。合わないんちゃうこれ。なあ、合わへんよこれ。これさすがにヒント見よう。ちゃうちゃうちゃう。3のマークが上に来る。すいませんね。これね。おっと。まだあるん？爆発した。ごめんなさい。ごめん、爆発してしもうた。すいません。
Since I'm telling this story to you, Mr. Poirot, you should be able to deduce.
爆発しませんでした？
Let's see if I can remember how I diffused the bomb.
すいません。すいません。すいません。ほんまにすいません。これはどういうこと？どういうこと？どういうこと？当てずっぽうやで。すいません。すいません。すいません。爆発しました。ごめんなさい。すいません。ほんまに。すいませんでした。ほんまに。大変失礼いたしました。いやー、難しいね。
Mr. Poirot, you should be able to deduce. I didn't blow myself up. Let's see if I can remember how I diffused the bomb. はい、
思い出してみます。もう一回やりましょう。これは知ってる。これやろ？なんこれ。だからなんこれか。これに繋がってたらあかんねやろ？どれですか？これちゃうか？ほんまにごめん。何回吹き飛ばすんや、私は。すいません。そんなつもりないんよ。
Mr. Poirot, you should be able to deduce.
はい、そうです。爆発しませんでした。
Let's see if I can remember how I diffused the bomb.
何回やり直すねん、この人生。こう繋がってたらあかんやつ探すんやろ？こうやって繋がってたらあかんやつを。ってことはね、これが、ここが、これやろ？これやろ？これやろ？だからこれはせばいいんかなと思ってんけど、そういうわけじゃない。で、真ん中ですね。真ん中や。何これ？全部前に出せと。おー、すごい。
So far, so good. Wow, I wonder if that's how close it was.
おー、さすがだよ。さすがさすが。
These rods are heading towards the canisters. It must be the trigger for the explosion. I smell a strong, sweet smell. Damn. I think these are filled to the brim with diethyl ether. Incredibly flammable. It looks like the kidnappers wanted to utterly destroy this place and whoever opened this hatch. A wooden crate? I have to open it.
開けた方がいいよここ。
Oh no. Daisy.
木箱の中に入れられてたんデイジー。
I called in my discovery of the
あ
body.
ー
Then there was
で
nothing I could do except
その
protect
死
the
体
site
ご
for
と一緒に吹
forensics.
き飛ばそうと。あんなちっちゃい木箱に入ってたことでも2歳か。
The
3
forensics
歳
team
か忘れ
arrived
た
an
けど。
hour later. Cordoned off the cabin with
3
Samson tape,
歳か
and went to
3
work,
歳やっ
looking
た
for
らま
physical
あ入る
evidence,
かの中。
fingerprints, testing for fluids, DNA, any clues science can uncover. They removed Daisy's body. The autopsy would take place in the morning. But I had one more stop to make.
何？人形返すんかな。あ、まだ伝えてなかったんや。なるほどね。もう伝えたいと思った。そんなつもりないんよが可愛い。いやー、吹き飛ばしすぎた。ゲームでよかった。
That night, I swore to find the monster who killed that child.
回想長かったね。1時間ぐらいかかったよ。こんな立ち往生してたらさ、この電車埋もるんちゃうか？
Ratchet on train saw me? How? Daisy.
どういうことどういうことどういうこと似てるやん。
She was awake?
And then she collapsed again.
I take the responsibility. She was weaker than I realized.
あ、そうな。マフィア2とすごい似てる。
Lie still while
なん
I
やろ、この
examine
お
you.
じさんが
Pupils dilated.
I'm all right.
You are far from all right. You have been heavily sedated. Your pulse is very weak.
鎮痛剤打たれてたん？
I have to finish my story. Ratchet can't escape again. Can't escape.
Have no
死んだって
fear
こ
of
と
that,
知らん
mademoiselle.
の？
Ratchet will not escape.
We must hear her story.
This woman needs rest. I will let you know when she is recovered enough to continue. But I warn you, it will be some time.
I understand, Doctor.
I understand.
I have completed my preliminary examination of the deceased. I think that it will interest you.
Indeed, it will. And I have other witnesses to interrogate. You are right. Let's not put this poor woman in danger. There will be plenty of time for her to finish her story when she has recovered. By all means, tell me the results of your examination.
アメリカ人。18じゃない、32歳の刑事。
Et voilà.
ラチェットなんかな？
Can you estimate the time of death?
Rigor mortis was advanced, but not complete. I estimate the death occurred between midnight and 2 in the morning.
That tallies with the witness statements I've collected so far. What is the cause of death?
Multiple stab wounds to the upper torso. It's odd there are no signs of a struggle. That might indicate one of the first wounds was enough to kill him.
It seems that Monsieur Ratchet had taken sleeping pills during the night.
Ah, that would explain the lack of defensive wounds.
Mr. McQueen and Mr. Masterman told me that Monsieur Ratchet didn't smoke. Can you confirm this?
I can't
でも
say
ラチェッ
without
ト
a
が
more
殺したってことは
extensive
さ、
postmortem.
ラチェットがその彼氏やったん？ラチェットが？
What can you tell me about the stab wounds?
I counted 12 in all. 1 or 2 are so slight as to be practically scratches. On the other hand, at least 3 would be capable of causing death. The angle of the wounds is instructive. Most appear to have been struck by a right-handed person. But you see, this one, under the right armpit, it's not a deadly blow given the depth, but a right-hander couldn't have done it. It was most
二人の
certainly
人
struck
間に
with
刺
the
され
left
たって
hand.
こと？
So, our murderer is left-handed. No, it is more difficult than that, is it not?
As you say, Mr. Poirot, some of these other blows are just as obviously right-handed.
Do we have a first and second murderer, as the great Shakespeare would put it? The first murderer stabs his victim and exits left, turning off the light. Then a second murderer comes in the dark, does not see his or her work has been done, and stabs a dead body.
Magnificent.
You think so? I'm glad. It sounds to me a little like nonsense. Thank you, Doctor. Excellent work under difficult circumstances. Please let me know when I may speak again with Mademoiselle Locke.
Of course.
誰や？でも刑事がさ、犯人捕まえるためにとりあえず殺すか？拘束してさ、罪償わせなあかんのちゃうか？
Even a smoker might Yes, that's certainly a good place to start. I don't remember. Book doesn't smoke. Yes, I have personally seen some passengers smoking. I just have to remember who they were. Yes, I suppose it's likely they will give me the list of who smokes what. That's the right answer.
よしよしよし。
How is Mademoiselle Locke, Doctor?
Her vital signs are improving, but she is still unconscious.
I understand. Thank you for looking after her.
刑事にしてはマフィア寄りすぎる。よしよしよし。これは簡単やったわ。
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
よし。とりあえずキリがいいから今日はちょっとこの辺にしておこうかなと思います。いやごめんね。2回で終わるかなと思ったけど思ったよりこの話長かった。うまく顔が見せれない。こっちを向け。よし。でもだいぶ進んだね。犯人が複数人っていうことが分かってよかったよ。まあ単独犯ではあるけど2人いるってことが。右利きの人と左利きの人、そしてベイプのタバコを吸っている。2人ともかな。それかどっちかがベイプ、どっちかがパイプ、どっちかが電子かなって思う。まあどっちにしろ吸ってるのは吸ってるんやろうね。でもかなり証拠は見つけてきたし、でも本当にラチェットが犯人なのかっていうところもあるよな。そのあれ でもラチェットがほんまにやったんかな。今のところラチェットがさ、やったっていう証拠は出てきてないけど、まあでも、確実にやってるとしたら、やっぱパパじゃない？大佐やったパパ。階級ちょっと嘘ついてた人。でもあの人タバコ吸ったっけ？記憶にないな。吸ったかな。でも殺す動機があるとすればまずはパパやん。塗り合わせてる。もう一人は何やろ。今回のこの女の子の殺人事件とは関係なさそうな別口かもしれんけどね。最悪全員とかあるかも。全員から？うわ、だったら刺し傷もっとあるんちゃう？全員が全員ナイフでやるかな。一人ぐらい拳銃でやるんちゃうって思うけど。でも拳銃はあれか、音がするからすぐバレちゃうか。いや、どうなんやろ。とりあえず、今日は、また途中ですが、この辺で終わります。また来週ね、時間ある時にやりたいなと思います。そして、今日木曜日で、土曜日だね。明日、明後日の土曜日なんですが、急遽、煙海さんと、エイペックスのランクを回すことになりました。ちょっと私は仕事なので夜の9時以降にはなっちゃうんですが、配信お休みの予定だったところ、ちょっと急遽配信することになりましたので、よかったら見に来てください。で、日曜日は予定通りウォッチパだね。ごめん、まだマイインターン見れるか確認してないや。必ず確認しておくね。見れなかったらちょっと別のやつ考えるわ。13人の乗客、12箇所の刺し傷ってことは、この名探偵以外の全員がやったってこと？ってなったらさ、この人のさ、友達のおデブちゃんも刺したことになっちゃうで。おとちか、日曜日はマイインターンかな？ちょっとね、まだ調べてないや。多分あると思うんだけどね。ちょっと調べてすぐに報告するよ。X の方で。わー。というわけで、本日はお疲れ様でございました。明日も多分お昼からやるんじゃないかな。ストグラ FV やると思います。最高の人生というバックアップもあるで。確かに、両方とも見とかないと。最高の人生ね。マインターンと最高の人生。OK。では、本日もありがとうございました。ちゃんと寝てね。おやすみなさい。バイバーイ。